All right, everyone, welcome in today. We have the opening race here today. We have an SMO any percent. We've got Okra versus SalmonBurt. Very, very close in time. 3 seconds parting these two individuals. And in the booth with me today, I have NMC. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome right now, and I do believe Okra and SalmonBurt are in here with us. Okra, how you feeling about today's race?
Huh? Huh? That's about the summary. I'm pretty rusty. Okay, so the backstory, I'll give just a quick tangent here. I was bullied into participating in this tournament by Dansta. Shame on you, Dansta.
Okay.
So I came back from like a half a year or longer hiatus to de-rust and get ready and prepare. And I am not as de-rusted as I would have hoped for, so I don't expect to do well today. But I'm hoping to put on a good show, and have a good showing of what the Division A looks like. Whet your appetite for the future races, so to speak. So I'm just hoping to have some fun today.
All right,
That's about all we
awesome.
can ask for.
Absolutely. And Salmon, how you feeling about today's race?
Good, I think.
Yeah, you were mentioning how you're collecting some 102s. You're playing fairly consistent today.
Yeah, I mean, 102 I feel like is pretty bad, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
I at least want to get a 101 at least. That's my goal.
yeah, that sounds fair enough. Play within a minute of your PB maybe. You are going against someone who's a little rusty, so you might be able to get away with a 102. But Okra might just play out of his mind all of a sudden, get the sub one out of nowhere.
Yeah, that could happen. Yeah, definitely.
Do it for the hype. It'll be so hype if we get
Yeah,
a
do it,
sub
do
one.
it.
Oh yeah,
For the hype.
true.
Just go for all the swag strats. DSS, 2DSS. Just do it all.
Right.
All right, and with that being said, runners, you guys can go ahead and ready up now.
Awesome.
Now, NMC, what are you expecting from these two runners today?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, we heard from Okra that he's a little bit rusty, but I feel like players tend to surprise themselves on occasion. So hopefully we see a nice close race here, given the closeness of the PBs, and we get something interesting to watch, at the very least.
Yep. And I know these runners can hear me, but I will say this now. Don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but I've came back from D-Rusts and have gotten pretty large PBs coming back. So it could happen for Okra.
Sorry,
Not
can
saying it's out of the
we
question.
can we restart real quick? I forgot to set up.
Absolutely.
I'm so sorry.
Salmon, unprepared, not getting DSTA set up.
I'm so sorry.
I was curious about that too. Like it's just like you guys are ready
Yeah,
up, and then I didn't see you setting up DSTA, and it's just
uh,
like, huh?
I just went into panic mode there. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
All good. So if you guys are all set up with your DSTA and everything like that, you guys can go ahead and ready up in race time.
That is a new
New
room.
lobby has been
Trying
created.
to the new lobby.
Okay, this time it should be fine. Okay.
All right. All right, and now with DSTA set up for both runners, they are good to go whenever they are ready. Now, do you expect any swag strats from these two, NMC?
Swag strats. I guess it depends on how early parts of the race go. I think we heard from both runners that they're not going to go for DSS at the very start in Cascade Kingdom, but who knows if we'll see a couple of attempts at other strats like 2DSS come the end, depending on how it's gone so far.
Okay, that's a fair assumption. Yeah, 2DSS I've seen in a race prior. Actually, I forget which race it was, but I have seen the 2DSS in an any percent open race this year. So
We shall see.
And it looks like these runners are just about ready to go here.
And we're going to go ahead and jump into the race today.
Now, a question I wish I had asked is what their favorite kingdom is to play through, so that way we can expect which kingdom they're going to absolutely destroy. Now, I'd imagine it's probably going to be every kingdom because of their times. They're both very sub 1 capable.
Yeah, we've got some definitely high level runners here today. Hopefully, we see some cool strats and routing going on. I'm not certain, but I would assume that both runners are gonna do platform clip in sand. Am I correct?
I would imagine so. I don't watch either of these runners. I know their times, and that's pretty much it. So we shall see.
Wait and see. So we're getting here into Cap Kingdom. Nothing too special usually goes on here. It's just the first of the game, but we will probably see left side from one or both of the runners here. Get through the frog room.
Oh, I definitely imagine so. Outside is one of those things that's not insanely tricky, but it's one of those like movements that is just really, really cool to watch.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of stuff in this game that's just really impressive, especially if you didn't know that it was possible beforehand.
Yes.
Side, DSS, 2DSS all come to mind, where it's like, really, you can just do that with the geometry of the game without having to really do any crazy glitches or anything like that.
Yeah. It's just understanding hitboxes and understanding the movement of what you're doing.
Sure, and we do have a successful left side from Salmon, but Okra did miss it.
Yep.
We have a little bit of a lead
just
here.
for the fast strat. Ooh, Salmon taking a bit of a bonk though, but didn't look like lost him much time.
Here we are coming out of Kingdom and into Cascade.
I feel like Cab Kingdom is a good way to just kind of like warm up your movement right away.
Sure, yeah. And like we said before, I don't think we're going to be seeing DSS from either of these runners, especially not in a race like this, but we will see as we come up to the beginning of Cascade Kingdom.
Yep. And Okra, I feel like wants to win, but wouldn't be upset otherwise because again, he, according to him, was bullied into doing this by Dansta. So
Yeah.
but Dansta doubling down and think Okra's gonna win. I see that in chat. I see the 1 badge next to his name. I'm gonna put some down on Salmon. I feel like there's not enough going on for Salmon, so I'm gonna throw 4,000 down on Salmon here to balance it out a little. Oh, never mind. I just completely unbalanced it.
Yeah. And yep, both runners look like they're going to be going for normal dino skip here.
Yep. And Dansta says, I bullied him into it because I knew he can do well. So
We'll balance that pull right out
I
again.
balancing it back out.
There we
Yeah, add
go.
a couple K to it. Oh,
I did.
well, above
we
my
also
4K,
did.
somebody like put in like 9K.
Wow.
Oh, Stealth put in 10K.
Wow.
Stealth, because of you, neither of us are gonna get money.
That
We're
means
each
we
gonna get
actually
like
put in more.
500. You know, it's great. I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna put another 5,600 down.
Nice. Yeah, like Dance to saying in the chat, it is really hard to predict how these races are going to go, especially with runners whose PBs are as close as these two.
3 seconds apart. How much more of an awesome race can you get other than 3 seconds apart from both of these runners? That is insane.
I think that's about as close as we could ask for. Of both runners finishing up the Madame Brood fight at the top of Cascade, and we'll be going into sand here.
I think
Just a
Sand
moment.
Kingdom is probably one of my favorites to watch.
Yeah, especially with the new platform clip route, Sand went from being
Yes.
already pretty impressive to being just incredible, especially with all the camera manipulation that can go on there.
I feel like you just see most of the movement that you see in the rest of the run in Sand Kingdom, so you kind of get a glimpse of everything.
Yeah, it's definitely a good preview for what's to come.
Absolutely. So Sand Kingdom is a pretty good determining factor on how the rest of the run is going to go for these two runners. See where their movement's at, how they're feeling with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's probably the first kingdom where you can really end up with huge stakes or huge lead changes. Cap and Cascade are usually pretty safe if runners aren't going to go for it's like DSS in
DSS.
Cascade. Yeah.
I'd say DSS is probably the most notable one to, the most notable difficult one to go for in the early
Yeah.
kingdoms.
Yeah, especially in the early game. There's not really anything that's as hard as DSS that I can think of for a while.
Now DSS does look really cool though.
I remember
So-
the first time I saw it, I kind of lost it. I'm like, what? You can jump up there? Crazy.
I feel like that was me just watching SMO in general in the beginning, because I had watched
Yeah.
Necrovita's highlight video from his from the first ever sub 1 recorded, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this looks really cool. So I went on Twitch and started watching runs and everything like that, and some of these runners just blew my mind back then, and like as it progresses, I just keep getting my mind blown over and over and over again. Ooh, Salmon gonna need to readjust his DSTA.
Yeah, and we do have a route difference too, with Salmon going for shot first, while Okra goes for moon above the town and the bird at the beginning of the kingdom here. See how that ends up working out,
Yep.
especially with the difference with the DSTA.
Yep. Okra not needing to adjust his DSTA. So saving a little bit of time on his opponent. Now Salmon did react very, very quickly to the DSTA. I think only losing about 5 seconds maybe.
Salmon did miss the fast bird moon grab, but I'm not sure if that was intentional or if he goes for that or not. But to jump
Yeah,
back
but
up
it-
to get the moon after knocking the bird.
Does look like Okra has a very, very small lead here, looking like about a 4-second lead on Salmon.
As the runners leave the town, it does look like just a small gap there. See how it plays out for the rest of the kingdom. Here
Yeah,
we'll get
looking-
confirmation pretty soon on whether or not they're going for sand or for platform clip route here. Ooh, attempts at strat here, and looks like both runners are gonna get it. Yup.
Very, very nice.
We have Salmon going for the platform clip route, and Okra is not. He's going to go for the regular sand route here.
Probably just more comfortable with doing the normal route from coming back from a D-Rust. So
Ooh, and Okra misses the first jump, the triple for a reverse Jaxie.
yep. So Salmon had the lead for a moment there, but again, I think only 2 seconds maybe separates these two runners,
Yeah.
if not less than 2 seconds.
It's very
But,
close. There is a 1 moon lead for Okra here because of grabbing that moon from the crate before moving on to the rest of the kingdom. But we'll see how much platform clip can bring back for Salmon. Ooh, and a miss
Oh,
on the
no.
bullet bill moon.
Yep, looking like
well.
Salmon's going to gain some time on his opponent here in Okra. Ooh, wait,
Oh.
hold on. I'm now confused. Who has the lead?
I think Salmon still has the lead. Just has to grab a couple of quick moons while Okra has to go the whole way to the Oasis.
Yes, because Salmon did go for the clip here.
Yep. Is going to grab some coins here in the Sphinx room as well, it looks like.
Yep. Looked like he grabbed a little bit of coins there.
It's still relatively close, considering the route differences that we've seen here. It looks like it's only going to be a small lead for Salmon leaving Sand Kingdom here.
We will check the fade out times. I think this is about a 15-second lead for Salmon, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like roughly that. Both runners leaning back with their hands behind their head as we get ready to move on to Lake Kingdom.
So it's a 10:47 from Salmon.
Yep.
Oh, maybe it's only about 10. Oh, less than 10 seconds. That's only a 6-second difference.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Very, very close so far. We'll see if we can keep this business going through Lake Kingdom.
Man, I hope so. I love seeing close races, especially when it's the entire time. If these runners can stay within 20 seconds of each other the entire time, that's a good race. And not to mention just overall solid gameplay as well.
That's the thing with runners like this is even when they say that they're rusty, they're still far and away the best at the game in general, and so that consistency that's built up over getting to a time like this definitely can come into play here.
All right, let's see here. Can Salmon get the clip?
I'll see. Oh.
This clip can be quite tricky sometimes.
Looks like he's got it.
Salmon did end up getting it. Ooh.
Okra also first try.
Nice. Let's see here. Oh, Okra getting it a little bit quicker than Salmon. Not much faster, though. Salmon was just a little bit off to the left of the chest there, while Okra was right on top of it.
And still a very close race through the start of Lake Kingdom, and it doesn't look like there's going to be big mistakes here from either runner. I think it's going to be a pretty clean lake for both of them.
Yep, as we're grabbing the last few moons here.
We will move on to Wooded, which is one of the more punishing kingdoms in the run, I think.
Most definitely. But Wooded is also one of the nicest looking kingdoms in the run as well when done correctly. You do it optimally and correctly, it looks very, very nice.
Yeah, that's the thing with high-level runs is that you get some really satisfying movement, especially through those harder kingdoms like Wooded.
Absolutely. Wooded, Lost, Metro. Metro has some really nice movement as well.
Yeah.
Well, Metro Day, that is.
It's true. Like a 1340 fade out for Salmon from Lake, and from Okra, not going to be far behind. 1349, so a little bit of a wider gap, but not by a whole lot. The runners are still keeping it very, very close.
Yeah, only lost 3 seconds to Salmon there, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is such a good run from both of these runners here.
Playing very clean and
Pace
consistent.
check. Okay, Okra's on an ult. I cannot do a pace check there. Salmon, I can do a pace check though, and I can determine it that way. As soon as Twitch would like to stop giving me ads.
I love it.
Oh, oops. There is a stat sheet. Haha.
It's the stat
Thank you.
sheet.
All right. Let's see
Ooh, we
here.
have a
Let's
bonk from Salmon climbing up the wall here in Wooded Kingdom. If Okra can manage to gain a little bit of time there. Can. It's like
It's looking
both
like these
runners
runners are- Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, you're good.
Oh, I was just gonna say how Salmon is just playing slightly behind PB. So. And let's see here, the
A
nut clip,
successful nut
very
clip.
nice. And a successful nut clip from Okra as well, I believe. Yes.
Looks like it. And we had a little bit of a bonk from Salmon there, but successfully grabbing that out of bounds moon and
Yep.
pulled off cleanly. Some nice movement to get back in bounds, and then up ramp we go.
Looks like that bonk lost him quite a bit of time, actually. Well,
Yeah,
quite a
they're
bit of time in
very
the sense
close
of
at this
these
point.
runners are only 9 seconds away from each other.
Yeah.
So when you say losing a lot of time when they were only like 9 seconds away from each other, I mean like 4 seconds of time lost, which is not very
Yeah.
significant. But when you're playing this close to your opponent, you know, those 4 seconds add up fast. Very, very fast.
Everything counts in a race as close as this one.
Oh, it's all right. Okra taking a little bit of a hit.
The uproots there. Going for E. I always forget, is this one the nut around the corner, or does this have a different name? I always forget which of the nut moons is which in Wooded.
There's too many nut moons, man.
There are.
Oh,
we
no!
missed triple jump off of the railing from Salmon for Flower Road Skip, and Okra manages to get that triple jump, taking the lead first time here in Wooded Kingdom.
Yeah, Okra with the lead for the first time in the run, and once again, only a couple seconds separate
it's-
these runners.
it's
That is so insane.
close. Yep.
Even if this lasts to like the end of Lost, that's still a ridiculous amount of time to be this close to your opponent in a race.
Even here, you don't really see a ton of races that are this close, even through Wooded Kingdom.
True, usually there's some major mistake in Sand Kingdom that separates the runners, but here these runners have really made a detrimental mistake. Salmon backing up his missed triple jump very, very nicely. Quick thinking from Salmon, so keeping it close still.
The buffer jump from Okra to avoid the land stun, and same with Salmon. That's also a lot harder than it looks. They make that just landing there look really easy, but if you try it, it's not nearly as easy as these runners make it look.
Oh, definitely not.
And now we have Flooded Pipes, the last real difficulty challenge here in Wooded Kingdom. See how the runners manage to navigate through here. We will move on. Clean movement from Okra. Oh, and Salmon misses the wall jump. And drop just a little bit further behind, taking 2 hits of damage off of the Aussies here.
Yeah.
Still ending
Go ahead.
up pretty close at the end here. A little bit of a lead
Yep.
change.
Yep. Okra leaving Wooded Kingdom for with the lead here.
Move on to, according to Cappy, I think it's Metro Kingdom next. See if Bowser has anything to say about that.
I find it kind of funny that if Bowser just hid with Princess Peach, Mario would never be able to find him. But Bowser goes out of his way to disrupt Mario's adventure through the kingdoms.
Exactly. Exactly. I think Bowser's main strategy of stealing something from every kingdom is a little bit counterintuitive to not getting attacked by Mario, but
Exactly.
clean movement getting into the cloud fight and some good fast hats from Okra to start off. Usually not a place where we see a ton of mistakes, but
Like, Bowser's constantly throwing himself into his own traps in a way. Like, even in the original Mario game, SMB1, literally captures Toads, like kidnaps Toads, that tell Mario, hey, the princess isn't in this castle.
oh, he's a little counterintuitive. But I mean, Bowser's still doing it. There must be some truth to it.
You know what? I don't know at this point. Like, even like in SM64, literally sends a false letter to Mario claiming it's from Princess Peach that there's a cake made. It's like, if you had left that be, Mario wouldn't even known the princess was kidnapped by you again.
And as we enter Lost Kingdom, we have the runners going for Aim Tree here. Like, pretty clean jump from Okra. We'll see if Salmon can follow suit.
Yeah. Lost Kingdom is where we really see the vast majority of the movement that will be used on the run.
Clean
Has a
start
little
to
bit
the
of
kingdom
everything.
from both runners. The level movement in this kingdom is so crazy to me. It's just so precise to avoid getting kleptoed or falling in poison or anything that any of the many hazards that you can end up with here.
And I was just about to bring that up, like, hopefully both these runners can klepto skip because that is a very large time loss.
Like, Okra is good scaring Klepto off of the platform. And for Salmon, like, don't have. Oh no, we do have first repeal from Okra. Oh, maybe not quite. But sure, does it count as reverse torpedo if you stand up on top to get them to break the block before jumping to the one below, or not?
Maybe someone in chat can answer that because I don't have a definitive answer as well.
Oh, and a bonk from Okra just as he's going to Globe and leave the kingdom. Besides that, no major mistakes. It's like only the fast way really counts. So we have no reverse torpedo, but still clean Lost Kingdom from both runners.
And neither of these runners making any mistakes, so the time difference is going to stay relatively the same here. And as mentioned by Dansta, I will say it does look like Salmon is very, very focused right now. Ridiculously focused. And hopefully no blood vessels get popped.
Hopefully. Move into Metro Kingdom here and see how the runners do here. Metro Kingdom, definitely another very impressive kingdom to watch, especially at a high level. There's a lot of strats here that are, as we keep saying, way harder than they look. Runners just make it look easy.
Absolutely.
Oh, the missed dive from Okra falling all the way down. See how he manages to recover this. Oh, and Salmon misses the same jump but avoids the fall damage stun.
It seems like whatever happens, like, they're doing the exact same thing. It's just a mirror image.
It really is.
Salmon's stream is just Okra's a little bit behind, you know?
Yeah.
As they get the triple kill there. Can't say the actual strats here on CCG.
The heck. There you go. Okra making the blind jump, leaving the tower just a little bit ahead of Salmon here. Again, this is such a close race, especially considering how far into the run we are.
Yeah, we're about halfway through the run, and these runners are still keeping it seconds apart.
Yeah.
A little bit of a missed shot from
awkward shots.
Okra there,
Oh.
but Salmon getting the same pattern.
Wow, it's crazy how close this is so far.
I get these runners are making the exact same mistakes, and it's just insane. And it's not even huge mistakes either. They're both making very, very minimal ones.
Exactly. See how the RNG for the Wiggler plays out for the runners here. Ooh, janky hitboxes. Okra's that looks like it missed.
And Okra now finishing up. Salmon missing a couple of his hits there.
Yeah, also getting kind of some awkward hitbox interactions there.
The
There's
Wiggler
a
can be a little
lot of time.
janky sometimes.
Yeah, I was just about to say, there's a lot of times where it looks like you've hit something dead on, and something with how the hitboxes overlap means that it just doesn't register.
Hitboxes, timing also plays a big factor into it because the Wiggler moves, so...
It's like a 26-21 for the multi-moon fade out from Okra, and a 26-30 Salmon. So again, just 9
So 9
seconds apart
seconds
for
still.
Night Metro.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
man.
looks like it's just switched which side. It was 9 seconds leaving Lake for Salmon, and now it's 9 seconds leaving Night Metro for Okra.
See how the day Metro goes for these two.
How the scooter clip runs. There we go. Okra grabbing scooter clip pretty cleanly.
Yeah,
little
got a little bit
stop up
stuck on the corner
cave.
there. Salmon getting it perfectly.
Yep, gonna gain just a little bit of time on that one.
I think that's only
It
about
looks
maybe
laser
1.5
focused.
seconds.
Yeah, it's not much.
Salmon like hard focused as let me see here. Let me check the stats real quick.
The runners are grabbing the bench friends moon, my personal favorite moon in the game. An awkward pole fling from Salmon, but not gonna lose him too much time. Okra is gonna go for the slots moon here, which I think means we're gonna see the bullet building route from him. Same for Salmon
Very
as
nice
well.
slots.
Very clean. This is another thing that is really impressive to me is how these top level runners do the slots moon.
Yeah.
Just how quickly they manage to grab everything.
Like some of the, I guess the slower runners of this game, like I'd probably say anywhere like below maybe a 110. Take a minute and it kind of like let the slots line up for them, and sometimes take a couple extra
Yeah.
seconds doing it. When you see these top runners go for the slot moon here, it just looks so clean. They do it instantly with no hesitation at all. They just line it up perfectly. They time it perfectly, and it just looks so nice.
Exactly. We got a nice clean bullet building from Okra here. A little fist bump, celebrating that as Salmon does miss the bullet bill, but manages to back it up pretty cleanly.
Yeah, losing a little bit of time here to Okra. And unfortunately, in this kind of situation, every second counts.
Really does. It's in a race this close, every little bit of time that you can save or lose is going to make a difference in the end of it.
Now, seeing this moon done right is insanely impressive because if you bonk, it can hurt.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Bonking there can send you down to this next platform below, and it definitely it's a bit of a time killer there. But neither of these runners are bonking on the way up to the top. So.
And now we have Okra entering the people's room, getting ready to head and leave the Metro Kingdom after grabbing these 2 quick moons.
All right, let's see where the difference lines up here after Day Metro, as we see Okra now leaving. Salmon not far behind, getting the rollout though, so saving a little bit of time on Okra here, rolling out through the crowd.
Let's check our fade out time here for Okra.
Actually, I think Okra actually did that too, now that I think about it. So
let's see, we have 30-41 for Okra on the Metro Kingdom fade out. From Salmon.
no, thankfully the stats actually tell me the exact amount of time down to the milliseconds, so
Go. 31:00, it looks like.
So 18.78 seconds in between these runners.
Wow. Out of Metro, that's incredibly close for a no reset race.
Both these runners playing really, really consistently. Both playing within a minute of their current PB.
And it's still anyone's game. A lot can happen in second half of the game here. It's still anyone's race, and with them being so close together, that just makes it even more exciting.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, sorry. Salmon's playing a little bit over a minute, but still really close to a minute within PB, and can definitely lower that time through just some nice movement and playing close to the golds.
Yeah.
As it looks like it's balanced on the gold sheet as well, looking at these two runners. Now, overall, Okra, despite only having a 3-second PB lead on his opponent, and talking about PBs, holds most of the better PB splits.
It's true.
Okra, Salmon only holds 4 splits over his opponent here, and unfortunately all of those are done with Day Metro being the last one he had over his opponent.
That is true. We'll see if that comes into play. I know we heard at the beginning of the race that Okra is a little bit rusty, so maybe you end up not seeing some perfect splits towards the end, but based on how he's playing so far, I'm not sure that Salmon can really count on that.
I was gonna say, if Okra didn't say he was rusty before this, I wouldn't have been able to guess that.
Me neither. Both runners playing very well for a no reset race. Very close to their respective PBs and close to each other as well. We're going to see both runners moving through the Snow Kingdom pretty cleanly here, leaving Blowy Jelly Room and entering the Goomba room here. We'll see. It doesn't look like we're going to see any ICC from either runner. But not sure how reasonable that is to look for in a race like this.
I think when you're playing this close, possibly seeing an ICC from Salmon might have been ideal, but if he's not comfortable with it, then I could also see him not going for it as well.
Yeah, and that trick is so hard to A, pull off consistently, and B, even save a reasonable amount of time with. I think if if I remember correctly, I think there's a setup for it that makes it a little more consistent, but means that it saves less time.
I will say this, looking back at the Gamba, the prediction here in chat, if Okra wins this, whoever voted on Okra is going to get a big payout.
Hey, let's go. I think I put 3K on Okra at the start of the race.
Oh, well, there you go. There it is. because I do believe someone put 10K down or 15K down, and I put 9K down. So
Ooh.
you're probably
Wow.
going to get like 7,000, 8,000 from this.
There we go. We have both runners moving towards Snowdram at the end of the kingdom. We'll see if we can pull it off. With runners with PBs this good, it's usually a pretty consistent trick, and we see that with Okra nailing it first try.
Yep, as we see Salmon lining it up here.
Oh, missing the
Ooh.
rainbow spin.
That's going to hurt Salmon. He can't afford this. He's already behind as it is, and unfortunately, that's going to put him back another, I think, 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Those rainbow spins, you have to time them. They're not super precise, but if you miss one, it's just so punishing. Especially on a jump
it's a
like
very
Snowdram.
it's an unforgivable movement when doing Snowdram. So very, very punishing.
Got to check Okra's fade out time, but we can look on the stat sheet to see how much that's going to set Salmon back.
So we have an 18.78 from Day Metro here. This is gonna be very, very significant. Oh my gosh, that time loss.
Yeah, it looks like it's a 33-second difference.
So yeah, that Snowdram set him back 10 more seconds. And just some minor movement that maybe Okra does a little bit faster than Salmon added those extra 3.
Both runners into the Seaside Kingdom now. The main trick here is going to be the fish chest clip. I'm not certain if community's agreed on a name for that yet or not. I think I've heard 3 or 4, but we'll see if the runners do decide to go for it here.
There might have been one here because I'm on the trick sheet through the fandom here, and it's not on here, so
Oh.
I think there was
I've heard it called fish clip. I've heard it called fish and dips. I've heard it called fish dip. There's
Okay, so it looks like
for it.
fish clip might be the official term for it.
Yeah, I don't know, because there is another fish clip in Seaside here at the end. But it's like Okra is not going to go for it. Going to stick to some more consistent strats, just the normal grabbing the moon and going around the corner here. The tunnel.
Well, if Okra's aware
Salmon
that he's
tries to
30
pull it out.
seconds ahead, I would imagine that he's probably going to play it a little
Yeah.
bit safe here.
Not really worth going for. That's like that. We'll see. Looks like Salmon is going to go for it. We'll see if he can pick up a little bit of time, but he does not get out of bounds. So it is just going to be a small time loss there because of the setup for it. We're going for the other fish clip here. Not a very difficult strat. Pretty basic, just using the fish to get out of bounds here and grab the last 2 moons for the kingdom.
That moon hitbox is so large.
Yeah, it's actually crazy how big the moon hitboxes are. Definitely makes it a lot easier to do some of the out of bounds stuff here in this game.
Yeah. Like, watching that fish clip there from Okra made me realize how big those moons actually are.
Yeah. Salmon going for the same trick. Snags it easily. Oh, missing the moon hitbox though.
As we were talking about how big they were. Maybe not as big
Right.
as we had initially thought.
Yeah. It's like
there's
Okra
going to
has a
be-
pretty
I
nice
think this might be up to
this
40
game.
seconds.
Yeah, it's a pretty big difference here.
I'd say the Snowdram was the significant one. Probably
Yeah.
missing Snowdram and missing that rainbow spin, probably a big mental hit for Salmon, but we'll see that as these runners head into lunch again.
That's the thing with these no reset races, is that runners have to be able to push through with some of the mistakes that end up getting made, because you can't really play perfectly on a run like this. You have to be able to move past and just continue to play consistent for the rest of the race.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we're gonna see Spiritless from either runner here, but if Okra or if Salmon does have that in the toolbox, feels confident in it, it might be a way to gain some of that time back.
Yep. And I will say this, we might be in Luncheon, but I think the big hit is Bowser's Kingdom. Bowser's Kingdom, obviously, you
Yeah.
have the mech fight at the very end. And the mech fight, if you fall off the mech once, that's a huge, huge time loss.
Yeah, and that's the thing about races in Mario Odyssey, is that even when a runner does have a pretty substantial lead, it's anyone's game right up until the end, even into the escape sequence at the end of Moon Kingdom with tricks like 2D skip or 2DSS, giving runners a chance to either lose some time or try some risky strats to gain some back.
Oh, absolutely.
Clean start to Luncheon from Okra here. Salmon also finishing up the Spirit fight.
I love the movement done in Luncheon. Like,
Yeah,
we see the clean movement in like Lost and Wooded and everything like that. We see the really clean stuff there. But the way Luncheon is navigated makes the movement just look so nice.
especially taking advantage of some of the geometry of the walls around the kingdom here. It's really impressive when you see it done right, and it's another one of those things that is it's a lot of practice to get to be that clean.
Yeah. And Salmon also showing some really clean movement here in Luncheon. Definitely showing that he knows he's behind by a good margin, and he's trying to keep it close here.
Of course, a little bit of a stumble from Okra on grabbing that moon on the pillar there, but manages to hop back on pretty cleanly and moving forward in the kingdom. As we go towards the Forks room.
Now, if Okra still has a bit of a lead here, let's say about like 15 seconds going into endgame, so after the final Bowser fight and going over to the pillars, we could possibly see Salmon go for a 2DSS to maybe try to gain some time. Because I'm not sure how much these runners have practiced it, but if they at least know how to do it, we could see it potentially pulled out from Salmon to try to gain some time on his opponent here.
Definitely going for it is going to be a last-ditch effort to try and gain some time. But we'll see how it ends up playing out with the rest of the end game. There is still a bunch of hard tricks and tight movement left before we even get to that point.
And it really depends on how Okra's playing at that point. Like, ooh, taking a bit of a bunk on. I would normally call these hammer bros, but I guess pan bros.
I think these are called technically pan bros, but
Okay.
there's like 3 or 4 captures that are essentially the same thing, but they just throw different things. There's the fire bros around, and then are there actually hammer bros that you can capture in Odyssey? I can't remember off the top of my head now that I'm thinking about it. I'm sure there are.
I don't know. Despite watching quite a bit of Odyssey, I still call them hammer bros from time to time, just because it's just like, wait, those aren't hammers.
Yeah. I mean, really, they're all the same basic idea. I think it's just themed sort
still
of
the
towards
same
Luncheon.
character, right? So
Yeah. A little bit of a time save from Salmon, not running into that same bonk and capture issues that Okra did.
yep, saving about I
Just
think
gonna gain-
3 seconds.
In just a little bit of time here.
Okra's been playing ridiculously well in Luncheon, and this is getting to the point of we see how well these top runners perform, because we're 44 minutes in and we're already in Luncheon. We're already almost
this
done
is-
Luncheon at that.
Yeah, it's really really impressive what runners of this level can do, especially considering that Okra went into this race super confident, saying that he was a little bit rusty, but I sure wouldn't be able to tell based on how he's been playing so far.
I think the faith from Dansta in Okra here is maybe what's driving him.
Yeah.
Maybe not having Dansta in your corner is hurting Salmon.
Yeah. I feel like Dansta being one of the very top runners in the game, being confident in you is definitely got to be a nice boost at the start of a race here.
Let's just get Tyron in here to get him in Salmon's corner.
Yeah, there you go. Tyrone can coach Salmon through 2DSS.
Most
At the very
definitely.
end.
As we see a finished luncheon here from both of these runners. It's looking like this might be, despite Salmon's minimum like mess ups here, I think Okra still managed to save time on Salmon here. I think Salmon lost a little bit of time to Okra.
Yeah. Well, you can see as both runners are moving into the Ruined Kingdom, closest thing to an auto-scroller I think that Odyssey has, but still definitely a lot of room for skill to play a role. I know my Ruined Kingdom, even though it's, you know, air quotes, an auto-scroller, the Ruined Kingdom time is definitely nowhere near what these top runners can pull off.
Absolutely. The movement up to the dragon fight and the dragon fight itself is definitely a huge factor in Ruin. And yeah, at the end of Luncheon, so Salmon actually ended up losing 8 seconds to Okra there in Luncheon. So
Yeah, it looks like,
Okra just having
just
a
about
phenomenal
45.
Luncheon.
Yeah, it looks like just about a 45-second difference between the runners. Definitely not insurmountable, but Salmon is going to have to definitely put on the gas pedal here towards the end of the run to be able to close that gap.
But I mean, to be fair, when you play within 9 seconds of your PB delta, that's pretty insane to do during a race.
Yeah.
So that's definitely where Okra has the Salmon.
Yeah, we're definitely playing pretty well. I think a plus 49 on his PB for Okra, and Salmon is plus 132 overall
and,
on
only losing
PB.
9 seconds in Luncheon. Opposed to Salmon's 15 seconds lost.
Yeah, for sure.
So 6 seconds over his opponent here. 8 seconds in total.
Clean Ruined Kingdom split from Okra as we move into Bowser's Kingdom.
This can definitely be a huge change up in pace here. As Bowser's Kingdom doesn't have the easiest movement, that's for sure.
A lot of tough tricks, a lot of tough movement involved in playing Bowser's Kingdom at a top level. Not just the mech fight, there's a lot of spots where movement is definitely really tight and can be pretty punishing throughout the entire kingdom.
Yeah. Well, even the 2 mini boss fights that you do there at the very end of Bowser's Kingdom, if you mess up once, it can hurt and it can add up depending on how many times you mistake, and just there's a lot of factors that go into the mini boss fights at the end. So
Sure. We'll see if either runner goes for Zarbama in the Harriet fight. One of the more visually impressive tricks, I think, in the game, in my opinion. Where runners will knock one of the bombs back. Yeah. It's another one of those where you see it and you're just like, huh? That's possible?
Most definitely, especially as like maybe like a casual player. Like I remember like
Oh yeah.
watching like a little bit of SM64 when I was a kid from like YouTubers and everything like that. And then I hopped into the speedrunning scene and I'm just like, what is a BLJ and why is that possible?
Yeah. Definitely, there's a lot of tricks like that that take a hot second to really wrap your head around if you're just used to the casual experience of the game.
Yeah.
Decent start to Bowser's from both runners. See
Now-
if they can manage to keep it consistent through the rest of the kingdom.
I will say Salmon had a slightly, very, very slightly better ruined by half of a second.
Ooh, gaining back a little bit of time there. Ooh, missing the dive back on that moon shard from Okra, but not going to lose him too much time.
No. Definitely not a time loss you really have to worry about when you're almost a minute ahead of your opponent. 3/4 of a minute ahead here.
This shard moon is definitely another spot where going for some of the more difficult advanced strats
Yeah.
pay off. The movement that we see there is can get really, really impressive.
Yeah. And again, in Bowser's Kingdom, this is where, you know, a movement mess up can be very, very punishing.
Definitely can be.
Because there's definitely a lot of
same thing.
gaps here, but Salmon, ooh, taking a
And
hit
also-
on health there too.
Bonking and taking the damage hit, so you're going to lose the time for the bonk and the time for your health to refill when you grab the moon at the end of this session here.
Losing a few more seconds, so that missed dive back from Okra is completely negated, and then some.
Yeah. See Okra moving into boss fights, doing Harriet first, which is the only correct way to do these boss fights, in my opinion. He does it, therefore it must save time.
Yep. Always, if a top
Do
runner
not
does
see-
it, then that's the way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't see Zarbomba from Okra here, but he doesn't really need to go for it. Save all that much time on its own, I believe, and this far ahead, it's better to just play consistent and not go for tricks that you might miss.
Absolutely. As we see a finished Harriet from Okra here.
The Salmon also going for Harriet first. Looks like we are going to see Salmon go for Zarbomba here. Does not get it. This is the timing just slightly needed to get that bomb to hang in the air.
And Okra finishing up with the second fight here.
Very clean topper fight there.
Topper's fight is very, very annoying if you miss the hat and you hit the hitbox of the one next to it. It's just annoying to try to catch him at that point.
Yeah, the timing on it is definitely takes some practicing to get, and
Especially
lose a
if you
bunch of time
blink.
trying to find him.
If you even blink during that fight, if you miss the hitbox, you're losing them.
Yeah. See if Salmon can replicate the clean topper fight. This level, it's usually not an issue.
Oh, and Salmon
clean fight
finishing
there.
the topper fight nicely.
Since Okra is moving on his way up to the mech fight. Let's jump across
Very
there.
nice movement.
Tokyo capture. A little bit of a stumble from Salmon going for that moon, but not going to lose too much time on that.
You say not losing too much time, but when you're behind as much as Salmon is, that feels like a year that you just lost.
Everything counts.
Exactly.
Again, still a lot of tricks left to go. We have Birdless Mech right immediately here for Okra. We'll see if he managed to pull it off cleanly. It's like he got the climb well. We'll see if he can manage to stay on. And then after that, we have a couple more tricks in Moon with Okay, skip, which is usually not that difficult. Then some stuff in escape. Have a missed on topper from Okra, but he still manages to stay on top of the mech here, so it looks like going pretty well, all things considered.
No. Waiting for the next cycle here, so that way he can take out another one here.
Hit on Harriet, and it looks like he's going to go for target acquired here. Oh, misses it. Punks in the dive in towards Buert, and that's going to be an opening for Salmon to catch up. Salmon does have a little bit of trouble climbing up on the mech here.
Yep.
Manages to get it done.
When you talk about missing anything in a mech fight, it's usually not super insane, but missing one of the later cycle ones is definitely definitely hurts on the time.
For sure, and we do see Okra managing to back it up, maintaining the lead here, but it is definitely going to drop a little bit. We got a pretty healthy lead going into Moon Kingdom, assuming that Salmon doesn't mess up anything else, but definitely closer than it was.
Yep. And getting a nice hit on Harriet there. And Salmon getting it.
First try. Very clean fight from Salmon there, apart from a little stumble at the beginning. Gonna definitely be pulling back some time on Okra there, and we'll see how that affects their decisions moving through the Moon Kingdom.
We should see some very, very similar movement here. The only thing that Salmon can really hope for from Okra in order to catch up is a missed Moon Cave skip.
Yeah, that or maybe a missed 2D skip in at the end of Escape, but
yeah,
usually at this level that's a pretty consistent trick, and I don't think either of these runners are really going to go for 2DSS here, unless Salmon decides to try and pull it out to catch up.
I think honestly Salmon could probably just bring this back with just better movement at this point.
It's pretty close. I think it's still a decent lead. Not certain. We'll have to wait and see for the update on the stat sheet.
15 to 20 seconds, I would imagine. Just trying to time it in the top of my head.
Yeah. Looks like on the stat sheet, Okra lost 30 seconds or more, 32 seconds their PB because of that mistake. So we will see how much Okra is able, or how much Salmon is able to pull back off of that. Looks like it is a 30-second lead.
So yeah, this can definitely be determined by even one missed Moon Cave skip can really put Salmon right back into the race at a much more significant rate. He's still in the race, but it's in the sense of these runners have been playing so close to each other the entire time, never more than 45 seconds apart from each other. So
yeah, very, very close race, all things considered. We'll see how Moon Cave skip goes. Usually not a very difficult strat, but we'll see if...
Especially at this high level.
Yeah, it looks pretty clean for Okra. Manages to snag it first try there.
Yep. Again, I imagined a missed Moon Cave skip is very rare at this kind of level, and so I put it on the top of my head that it was probably going to come down to movement and strats during the Bowser fight kind of thing. Which is probably very, very similar in these two runners. That should work, because it does.
Yep. Clean for Salmon there as well, and it is just down to the Bowser fight and the escape sequence.
However, Salmon's movement into, I guess, the church was a little bit more clean, it looked like, than Okra's. A little bit faster, so might have saved a couple seconds there.
Yeah. We'll see. I think it's probably going to have to come down to a mistake from Okra here, given that it's a 30-second gap. But we'll see. We end up both runners going for hats in the Bowser fight. Okra is just about one cycle ahead of Salmon.
No, so again, not an insanely high lead coming from Okra here, but it's definitely interesting to see. Salmon did say he just wanted a 101. He said that would have been ideal. So if he gets the 101, I think Salmon will still be quite happy with his performance.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the pace is compared to what he would need to be at for a 101. It looks like he's right around plus 2 minutes on EB, so it doesn't look like the 101 is going to be possible here. But oh, there's a BPT at the bottom of the stats page. Yeah, it looks like BPT for Salmon is a 102.30, and for Okra is a 102.01.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like the
Salmon
101
said he was getting
possible.
102s in resets, so
Yeah.
I think this was more likely to happen. But we're seeing endgame here from Okra, as we're about to see Salmon go through the same section here.
This is going to be the last real chance for us to see Mistake, barring some Pillar's shenanigans as Okra goes in to go for PD skip. If he decides to. With a lead like this, it might honestly be valid choice to try and go for the ultra safe strats, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, he is going to go for the safe strats and avoid the opportunity to make a mistake on 2D skip. And now looks like it's just going to be down to Pillar shenanigans. Bring it back for Salmon.
Yeah. And he thought about it. He thought about it.
We had
He
the
went
start.
for
We had the
setup.
start. Start
Yeah,
at
going for the
2DSS.
2D skip.
2D skip from Salmon. See both of these runners finish out the race as we enter the Cat Jam room. Players, best music in the game.
Let's get some cat jams in chat. Oh, Siren's on top of that. Siren had that prepped and ready to go. We already know.
There you go.
And ooh, two missed. Look like two missed fireballs from Okra on those pillars there.
I think Okra is just going to play it hyper safe here in the Pillars room, avoid a death, avoid any crazy mistakes, and just take the win here on this race, barring any crazy shenanigans here.
Yeah, and that is it. Okra does end up taking it.
Look at that. Very, very good run from both runners, especially for a no reset. Clean movement throughout. It was a nice, exciting race, very close throughout the whole thing. As we see Salmon go ahead and finish out his run as well.
With a 102.12 from Okra here, it's looking like a 102.33 is going to be from Salmon. 34.
Nice.
I'm always
GGs
1
to
second
both
off,
runners.
man.
Yeah.
I do time predictions on everything, and I'm always a second off. It's always one something.
Better a second than two. Okay.
I mean, hey, at least when I say it's always one, at least it's never been 1 hour. So we've got that.
Oh.
But with that being said, I think we can move on into interviews. Okra, how are you feeling after that?
Dude. Okay, so the middle portion of the run between Metro and Luncheon, that was the best MSSL that I've had in weeks. It was absolutely fire. I haven't played that well in I don't know how long. But the whole the bookends of the run were so bad.
Yeah. Still managed to clutch out the win there. Salmon, you had a couple of mistakes throughout the run. Missed Snowdram the first try. What was that like, and how do you sort of deal with coming back from a mistake like that and just trying to focus up and play consistent?
I mean, it is what it is. It's very annoying most of the time when stuff like that happens, because I did practice Snowdram before the race, but Yeah, the run overall was just super bad. Like, I am not proud of this run at all.
I feel
Yeah.
similarly, to be honest. Ugh.
Well, I mean, in the end, only 22 seconds separated you two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that means
both
that we both had a terrible run.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, whatever mistake you made, Okra, Salmon would make, and vice versa. If Salmon was in the lead, if a Salmon made a mistake, you would make one shortly
Oh my
after.
god.
Yeah, it was so back and
Yeah.
forth. It was insane. Now, I'm not complaining. Makes commentary very, very easy.
Yeah, no, I bet. I'll have to go back and watch the VOD because, I mean, my misfortune, I'm sure, made for an interesting spectacle.
Yeah, there was one moment in Metro where both of you missed the dive going from the girder moon up to go across into the tower.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was so funny because we were like, oh, Okra missed the jump, and then Salmon missed it just the same.
Yeah. I mean, hey, this game is brutal, man. It's just rough.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
mistakes started already in Cascade when I missed the one chain jump in the brutal fight. But
I did the same. Oh my god! Look, we're the same person. We have almost the same PV. We had almost the same race performance. Like, I'm just,
yeah.
Well, I literally
Yeah.
made the joke because you guys were making very similar mistakes, and I'm just like, oh, Salmon's stream is just Okra's just a little bit behind.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
GG's. That's super funny.
And now to finish this off, so NMC put some points in for you, Okra, and I put a large amount of points in for Salmon. And I'm just very curious, NMC, how many points did you end up getting from that? Because you put
So
in 4K.
I put in 2.8k, and I won 17.8k. So I profited
my
15k off of the
gosh.
raise.
I'm so sorry.
You're welcome, NMC. I was just
Thanks.
donating channel points.
Let's go.
All right, and with that being said, we do have another race lined up right after this one. Stick around and watch Trobin versus Stealth. Should be a fun one to watch, and we will see you guys after the break.